Good evening, Wilderness Wedge and Hunt Club. I'm Sean Burgundy, and here's what's going on in your world tonight. Well, it's playoff time. Time to get serious. No fooling around. We got the Negro suit and the red tie. No time for clowning around this evening. Antonio Cromartie's children earned a bye, and Gimpy Hoof limped into one. More on those two teams next week. For now, we got two matchups to go over, and I'm going to try to go over them kind of Chris Berman style if possible. I really like him, especially those sweet Hawaiian suits he wears. Anyway, first matchup is Bite My Fat Ass versus the West Coast Cockfighters. Bite My Fat Ass says he's glad that the dead horse got the bye and he gets to play the West Coast Cockfighters. Well, let me tell you, sir, you do not want to come to San Diego and play the West Coast Cockfighters at the Channel 4 News Dome in December. The weather in December in San Diego gets treacherous. Temperatures dropping into the low 70s, partially cloudy skies, and winds up to 8 miles an hour. Get your winter coats and your gloves, all right? And I know I said we play in a dome, but we'll open the damn thing up, all right? Let's take a look at the individual matchup breakdown here. We got Russell Wilson versus Andrew Luck / Aaron Rodgers. Mike McCarthy, coach of the Packers, says that they might put Aaron Rodgers on the bench if they don't think they got a chance to catch the Detroit Lions for the division win. Well, let's take a look at this here, Mr. McCarthy. The Lions went 0-16, then like 12-4, then like 6-16, and now this year, the point is they're not consistent whatsoever. I would put in Mr. Rodgers. Russell Wilson taking on the San Francisco 49ers at Candlestick this weekend. Doesn't look good, still beats the hell out of Geno Smith, Michael 1.5 quarters, and now I'm hurt Vic, and Ben Roethlisberger. Let's call it a push at the quarterback position. Running back number 1, it's going to be Jamal Charles taking on the Washington Redskins. Tell you what, when I saw that matchup, I pissed myself. Big splotch in my khaki pants. Tremendous year for Jamal Charles, running, catching. Going to be likely the number 1 fantasy draft running back next year, unless some idiot puts $63 on a Vikings running back again. In addition to his success on the field, Mr. Charles is probably the only black star athlete in America who has not had an oral procedure performed on him by a Kardashian at this point. Adrian Peterson taking on the Baltimore Ravens this weekend. It's going to be a tough matchup for the Vikings and AP, but hey, every Sunday AP runs a lot against a team that's way better than his own. He's going to do it again. It's a push at running back number 1. Running back number 2 is going to come down to it's all in the Packers game. Eddie Lacy versus Steven Jackson. Big Bob will be sitting in front of the TV, wiping the melted cheese off his face, saying, "Go Lacy, go Lacy." We'll call that one a push, too. We're also going to call the flex player, or number 3 running back, a push. It's Danny Woodhead versus Giovanni Bernard, or maybe Torrey Smith, or whoever he wants to put into the lineup. We'll call that one a push. In the words of Ami, nobody gives a shit about kickers and defenses, so I guess it all just comes down to the wide receivers. It's Demaryius Thomas and some loser versus Eric Decker and Alshon Jeffrey, who will be in the lineup this week. I mean, who's going to win? Let's get serious, Padre. Eric Decker and Alshon Jeffrey got like 80 combined points last Sunday. It's the West Coast Cockfighters in a landslide. Coming into game 2, second matchup of the week. Championship rematch from last year. Big City Tile and Stone versus Malto Meal, or at least a small bowl of Malto Meal cereal. We'll call Al that. Quarterback position, Al's got Peyton Manning. 464 points in 12 games for the Denver Broncos. We'll let Woody do the math and figure out the average. It's possibly the greatest offense in NFL history, aside from Kurt Warner's Rams, Kurt Warner's Giants, and Kurt Warner's Cardinals. Can Tennessee stop Peyton Manning from getting 7 TDs? No. Will he need to throw 7 TDs against Tennessee? Doubtful. Either way, it's still probably about a 25-point consensus advantage over Andy Dalton or whatever quarterback Skeet pulls out of the garbage. Moving down to the running backs and wide receivers. Skeet's going to have to choose 5 out of these 6 weird players here. Rashad Jennings, Ben Tate, big game last week. Andre Brown, Andre Johnson, Jordy Nelson. I guess he probably will start Des Bryant. But either way, he's going to have to do a lot of thinking to figure out who they want to play. 4 out of those 5 other guys. And in the words of my colleague Chris Collinsworth, the more he's thinking, the better it is for me. 10-4, Mr. Collinsworth. Al's likely 5 that he's going to be starting. Running backs here, DeMarco Murray and Zach Stacy. And in the words of Al, I just can't pick receivers this year. Ditto, says the man who benched Alshon Jeffrey in Week 13. Hey, maybe if we had just all picked Josh Gordon, it would be better for all of us. I mean, for Christ's sake, that guy is worth more than any Cleveland Browns jersey ever sold at this point. Brady Quinn's over there masturbating in the corner saying, "No, Myoplex." Anyway, Al's 3 wide receivers has got Steve Smith, Hakeem Nicks, and the invincible Kenny Stills. Why don't you just put in Antonio Gates, Al? What are you thinking, that Antonio Gates is too old and he's going to have to retire soon or something like that? Hell, Antonio Gates is going to score more points per game when he's retired than Stills is ever going to get when he's active. Put in the big charger. So basically what this comes down to is we got 10 players, the running backs and wide receivers from Skeet and Al, all of whom could get 0 or up to 30 depending on their luck. I have no idea what to say. Let's ask Woody what he thinks. He likes to do analysis. What do you think, Woody?
Well, I don't know, but if either of these two teams would have played my schedule, then their intestines would have got ripped out and they'd have a green liquid spewing out of the tip of their penis.
Whatever. Go to Blockbuster with your imaginary girlfriend and rent some movies while the rest of us are in the playoffs. Anyway, this matchup is going to come down to one thing. Peyton Manning. Al's got Peyton Manning. Is there anyone in the NFL who can hang with Peyton Manning's scoring? His kicker. His kicker has to do it. And the Skeet Busters have Matt Prater. My prediction is that this game comes down to a 50-yard game-winning field goal. And by game-winning field goal, I do not mean a field goal in the real to win the real NFL game. A game-winning Skeet over Al field goal for the Broncos at the end of their game to clinch a 54-7 victory over the Tennessee Titans that lifts Skeet into the second round of the playoffs. That's going to make it Skeet, Skeet, Skeet taking on Antonio Cromartie's children and the West Coast Cockfighters taking on the Dead Horse. But hey, that's just one man's prediction. I don't know any more than you guys. I just wear much finer suits than all of you. You stay classy, Willagers.